If you are running an e-commerce or DTC brand, and if you already understand the importance of data in your business, and maybe you have already signed up for a triple well account, you are just looking for the right setup, go straight to the section of this video, of this episode, where I take you step by step to set up 3 proper dashboards to track most important KPIs that will help you with your decision making. But if you are new to running an e-commerce business or DTC brand, or even if you are running maybe 5, 6, or even 7-figure e-commerce business, but you haven't emphasized on data, you do not have a proper data infrastructure in your business, or you don't understand why you need a data platform like Triplewell, then you need to watch this video from the beginning before reaching to the section of setting up the actual dashboards. It's very important that you realize, as the business owner, you need to stop spending too much time within Facebook Ad Manager, Google Ad Manager, or your email SMS platform, or different Google Sheets reports shared by different team members. That's not going to help. That's not going to move the needle for your business. If you are already overwhelmed with the information overload and you are getting confused on how to take the right decisions, what data to check, what data to trust, what KPIs to base major decisions on, you need to see this video from the start and first understand the importance of data backed decision making, why it's important to have right visibility into data, how to build a proper data platform, what is Triplewell, how to set up things in Triplewell, and then check the recommended setup that I provide to get you started on this journey. This is going to be a very, very interesting journey, and I promise you, you and your business will never be the same. If you are someone who is leading charge of an e-commerce or DTC brand, if you are the owner or the CEO or the operator driving an e-commerce business, this is for you. Let me help you with a quick Triplewell setup guide that you can consider as your baseline, and you can customize, you can refine, modify that as per your own need. Let's start with this. The number one reason your e-commerce brand isn't growing to its full potential. In the last 15 years, I have interacted with, worked with so many e-commerce brands, and a lot of them had incredible potential. But the biggest obstacle in their growth was not anything technical, it was just decisions. As the owner and operator of your e-commerce brand, the biggest levers you can pull are your decisions. That is in your hand. You need to decide to have the right tools, right system, right structure, right team member, right budget allocations. There are so many areas where taking the right decisions at the right time can make or break your business. Beyond knowledge and experience, of course, these two help a lot in decision making. But better decision making also requires proper visibility into better data. How can we characterize better data? It's easy to find, understand, and interpret without any technical knowledge or skill. As the business owner, as the operator, or the CEO, you don't have to be a data scientist. You don't have to have knowledge, technical knowledge of business intelligence, data processing, or even high level spreadsheet applied skills to be able to, or big data knowledge to be able to find, understand, and interpret your business data. That's how we are characterizing better data for your business. Next, centralized access to data from all platforms. As your business grows, you will notice that the number of platforms are growing as well. You started with Shopify, then you are advertising on Meta, then you are advertising on Google, then there is TikTok, then you are working on Amazon account, then you are using email SMS tools like Klaviyo or Sendlen, then you are using some other tools for affiliate. You are expanding the number of platforms, and it's humanly impossible, and it's unproductive, ineffective to check all these platforms separately for data, and then being able to take data from all those different places, combine it into in your mind or like into some spreadsheet, and then interpreting it. That overwhelms, that confuses so many operators. And That's also another reason that so many owners and operators completely avoid getting into this habit of regularly keeping track of data, taking data driven decisions. So that's not going to help. Better data means centralized access to data from all platforms. It does not matter how many platforms you are using. You need to have a centralized place where automatically data from all platforms are being fetched and being fed there. Then auto updated dashboards with key KPIs. I don't know if you have tried this, but every time I tried this, I regretted. Every time, for my own business, for so many brands I worked with, every time this responsibility was assigned to a person or a team, that you take data from here and then you enter those data there. Just for an example, say for example, take the data from Facebook ad manager or Facebook ad reporting and then feed those into a spreadsheet, a Google sheet. What happens a lot of time, human error happen a lot of time. People forget to update those data in time. There are a lot of unwanted delays and errors that does not help your business at all. And as the business owner, it does not make sense that you need to worry about all those things. That's why it's very important to have auto updated dashboards with your key KPIs. You should be able to go to a link regularly, and those dashboards should auto update themselves with all relevant data, auto calculating all relevant key KPIs that you are tracking. There can be many other characteristics, but these three are the basics. Easy to find, understand, and interpret, centralized access from all platforms, and then auto updated dashboards. We'll start there. Let's start with some examples of reading data wrong. I really love this post. Sarah mentioned this, and this made so much sense to me. We need to stop looking at KPIs in a silo. I don't care if severe conversion rate improved, if traffic was cut in half. I don't care if the email pop up converts better, if the bounce rate is through the roof. I don't care if AOV is higher, if total orders and revenue are down. It's not the individual KPIs that matter, it's the relationship that leads to top and bottom line growth. This is so important. This is what I keep seeing while working with different brands and their owners, CEOs, that they look at isolated KPIs and take wrong decisions, take wrong calls. And one of the solutions to enable someone like you who is already busy with so many existing organizational responsibilities, to give you better access to data, to give you better presentation, visualization of data, so that looking at multiple KPIs feels very seamless, very simple, if not easy, to help you take better decisions. Many times, I really need to play this tough role. I need to be the unpopular person in the organization. I need to point out the loopholes in reporting from different teams, different teammates, different external agencies. Just to give you some examples, new agency came and they reported improvement in blended CPA, cost per acquisition, and MER, marketing efficiency ratio, but at the cost of lower top line from our baseline to sustain production cost. The brand I was working with that had their own manufacturing facility, and to support the cost of running that manufacturing facility, we had a baseline of revenue. This is the revenue that we need to hit to be able to pay the bills, not just to run the online operations of marketing the e-commerce business, but also to sustain the manufacturing facility, to pay for the factory, to pay for the employees in the factory. And when that new agency came and they actually reduced the budget, lowered the top line revenue, and showed us, okay, see, we improved the cost per acquisition, we improved the MER. That did not make sense to our business. Hey, just a reminder to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so that you don't miss my future videos. Other examples, top line improved with improved blended CPA at the cost of not acquiring new customers. Now, some other agency came and what they did, okay, see, we understand that you need to hit a certain top line revenue goal. Fine. See, we are maintaining your top line revenue goal and we have improved your blended CPA, that is cost per acquisition. But then what I needed to point out to them, okay, you are doing this at the cost of not acquiring new customers. So what they are doing, they are just focusing more on converting the returning customers. The customers who had bought from us earlier, they are returning them more, and naturally, the overall cost per acquisition is lower. But why that's not very helpful for the business? Because again, just like we have a baseline for the top line revenue, we also have a baseline target of acquiring certain number of new customers every month. Because unless we acquire new customers every month, it would be very difficult to sustain growth in the long run. Say, for example, at the end of the year, during BFCM holiday season, we need to hit certain revenue goal that is much higher than the other month's revenue target. But unless till that time we keep acquiring more new customers, we hit our new customer acquisition goals, how will we be able to convert those new customers during the holiday period, during the promotional period? We cannot just rely on our previous customers, and we cannot just keep squeezing money out of them. Every healthy business needs new customers to grow in the long run. Another example, top line improved with improved blended NCPA. Now, here, the next agency, what they did, okay, we are holding to your top line baseline. Very good. We are getting the revenue, your monthly revenue target. We are also improving your NCPA, that is new customer cost per acquisition. That means we are not just converting your existing customer, we are actually acquiring new customers as well. But then I had to point out that you are doing this, you are attracting more new customers more easily, giving them massive discounts. And what issue that is causing? That at the end of the day, calculating the P&L, profit and loss, those discounts are eating our margin. So ultimately, we are not hitting our contribution margin or the net margin targets. So can you get it? How important it is to have an idea of not just one KPI, two KPI, or a few KPIs, but the overall key metrics of your business. And whenever evaluating any strategy or results, how crucial it is that we need to look at multiple metrics to drive decisions. We need to have a proper data interpretation framework in our organization to be able to take those decisions. And just in this conversation, someone replied to this: revenue per session fixes this. Okay, all the time our market, our community is looking for some magic single metric that will solve this issue. But actually, that's not the case. Sorry to say that. With full respect, that's not how it works. Show me any one metric, like however you frame it. Hopefully, I will be able to show you that you cannot trust just that single metric. Just like Zain said here, that revenue per session is a metric to help drive decisions. But I pointed out you cannot rely on that either, because high revenue per session into low overall sessions, what will happen? Someone can come and do some CRO stuff, so do some refining strategy, and they can show you, okay, see, revenue per session is now much higher than before. But if that happens at the cost of low overall sessions, then ultimately we are getting low revenue than before, overall revenue, and that's not helping our business. This is why it's very, very important to have a holistic view of our business, to have proper visibility into multiple key metrics of our business. Tell me in the comments if it makes sense. If you are having hard time trusting my recommendations, I'm not asking something small, it's a big deal. I'm asking you to rethink how you run your organization, how you run your business, how you take small to big decisions in your business. I'm asking you to install a completely new culture, a data culture, a better data infrastructure in your business. And that's why I wanted to add some weight to what I'm recommending. It's not something that I personally fancifully believe, or this is just one of the hot takes or kind of a trick. It's not that. It's foundational for growing any business. That's why I wanted to share this resource with you, where Christina, who is the director of marketing science and analytics at True Classic, it's a 9-figure brand. I'm sure you are aware of it. So find this video on YouTube. You can get this from my Substack post as well. Get this video, watch this video. I highly recommend it. This was from a presentation she did on a Triple Well online event, and it is phenomenal. It is one of the best presentation I have found so far on the importance of building data structure in your DTC business. Here is a quote from the video that I really love. Executive decision makers can't make the right decisions if they don't have the right information. And if those executive decision makers don't have the right information, it's because their data doesn't work the way that they think. So I see my job as translating decision makers' brains into data platforms. Tell me if it makes sense to you. It made a complete sense to me. I would strongly recommend again to go through the video, but I just wanted to share this few slides that I took screenshots of from the presentation. I really loved it, and I hope that you find them valuable as well. This is the frustration with the data platform. There are so many reasons for owners, operators, CEOs like you to get frustrated with the data platform, because you see something on Meta end, but then you are seeing something else on the Shopify end. You are seeing something in the Google Ads account, but you are not seeing that in the Google Analytics account. Too many disjointed data sources, pulling data manually is a waste of time that we already talked about. Teams are not aligned on how to name or define the KPI. What if your email team is considering something as revenue, but your ad team is considering something else as revenue? Maybe email team is not deducting the discounts from the revenue, but your ad team is deducting the discount. So it's very important to align all your team members on how you name and define KPIs. Building a modern data stack is an expensive infrastructural commitment. This is also another very important thing, that this is something, building this in-house, very few brands will be able to afford it. I'm not just talking about you if you are starting, but to be very honest, I don't think even a 7-figure or 8-figure e-commerce brand can afford to build something like this in-house. It's very expensive, and unless you have that kind of capital, that kind of financial backing into your brand, it's very difficult to invest. Building this kind of data infrastructure in-house, it's not easy. So why should you care? Every day you must be able to ask and answer better questions than you did yesterday. This is the same thing that I talk to every CEOs or owners I work with, that your job is not to just worry about what's happening in my ad account. Your job is to ask better questions. If you see something in terms of performance, you need to have the clarity and information to ask the right question. Maybe asking the ad team why our CPM is up, and how that is impacting our Facebook ad CPA and overall blended CPA. You need to ask your email team that the Klaviyo reported revenue, does this make sense when you consider that money is being spent on acquiring those emails and also retargeting your existing email subscribers? So are you considering the attribution of other channels as well when you are taking a look at the Klaviyo reported revenue and you are rejoicing with the success of our email and SMS performance? You need to be able to ask difficult questions like this. And sometimes for some team members, if this is a team member higher up, you need to ask them questions and deserve better answers, satisfying answers. It can be a conversation, and sometimes, if this is a teammate who is at a lower level, they can come up with questions and you need to be able to answer them. Say your customer support staff, they can come up to you and they can ask you that, I can see that we are doing better in terms of customer service. Then why still we are noticing this? You need to be able to give better answers to questions like this. Investing in your data platform strategy is an insurance policy for your most important asset, a winning business strategy. This is absolutely mind-boggling when I see so many brands. I'm not again just talking about small, new, inexperienced brands, but I see so many 6-figure, 7-figure brands. They are either crafting their business strategy by themselves, or they are following a business strategy proposed by an agency or a consultant without having any data backed approach. So that is why you need to invest into data platform that you can actually create a proper data backed winning business strategy. And that is something that she presented. And again, I will recommend watching the video for more details. This is a diagram that I really, really love. And most of the time, whenever I get involved with a new brand, I see them in this state. I have rarely worked with a brand who are not in the state, whether they are just starting, whether they have done like 5 figure, 6 figure annual revenue, and even ironically, even after crossing 1 million a year revenue, they are still at this state. And this state of the business cause most headache for the owner, the CEO, and also the leadership team. That there are so many platforms, so many tools, so many different reports, and different people and team are looking at it from different perspective for their work, their job. They are considering different items, different links, different files, different platform as their source of truth. And then they are presenting all those things to you, the owner, the leader of the organization, and you are overwhelmed and confused because you don't know what to do with all those things. It's overwhelming. It's nearly impossible to make sense of the entire business from so many inputs. This is something you need to get out of. This long-term impact of data chaos, obviously opportunity cost. Every day when you don't have clarity into data, you miss critical insights, and like you miss noticing that you are losing money somewhere. You miss opportunity where you can make more money. This gets into your company culture as well. You might penalize an employee who is actually doing good, but you are interpreting that data wrong, and vice versa. You might penalize, you might reward another employee or agency who are just reporting things well, but actually not positively impacting in the business and not being able to see the data clearly. It's hard for you to take the right decisions. So what you need? You need a great data platform that needs to be stable and agile. Like you need to be able to trust on that platform, and you need to be able to customize that platform. And generally, how a business builds a data platform. I'm going through all this just for this purpose. I want you to understand that I am not pushing you to use one single tool, triple well. I have done this on Triple Well. I have found it most simple and most effective and useful to do all this in Triple Well. But I want you to know that you can do this in other ways as well. Maybe using some other platforms like you Triple Well, or for any reason, if you have some background or some teammate who are good at processing data, or if you have the infrastructure to build a data platform like this in-house, you can do it with just Google Sheet and different big data infrastructure as well. So these are the building blocks of building a data platform for your business. I will not get into this. If you want to like do this in-house without using a tool, you can like check all these details from my Substack or her video. And this is just one thing that again I want to emphasize, that this is one critical mistake. Irrespective of how you build your data platform, whether you use a platform like Triplewell or you build it in-house or you use Google Sheet, that doesn't matter. But you need to centralize your data. Your data platform need to have access to data from all platforms. That's really, really crucial. I will not linger much here because we will talk about other things. Just to give you a quick rundown, these are the key pillars of a stable data platform: centralization, consistency, accessibility, and in terms of being agile, flexibility, self-service, and speed. These are very important. Like unless you can have these things in your data platform, like if anyone is trying to convince, if that's a platform trying to sell you their platform, it's a SaaS platform, subscription fees, maybe a triple will alternative, check them for these areas: centralization, consistency, accessibility, flexibility, self-service, speed. If any individual, I've seen a lot of individuals who will say, you don't need platforms like Triplewell, I will build it for you, I will create a Google Sheet system or big data like Tableau dashboard and other things. I'm not very much aware of the technicalities of those, but again, if someone is offering you to build something like that, please make sure that those platforms that they're offering to build have these characteristics. Otherwise, it's not going to serve the purpose. A great data platform drives incredible cultural change. This is something I want to emphasize again and again, that This is not a magic solution to transform your business overnight, but once you start prioritizing this data culture in your organization, this is going to bring massive, drastic, exponential positive impact in your business. And that is why I wanted to like have the backing of someone who is much more experienced than me, who is working on, if my experience working with seven-figure DTC brands, that's not enough for you. I wanted to bring a big gun, Christina, who is leading the charge of data and marketing and decision making for a nine-figure brand. And just I want to remind you that if you are suffocating yourself, your team, and your brand, still using Google Analytics for or some platform specific reporting only for key decision making, if you are still using multiple spreadsheets, if you are still using vanity metrics like ROS without checking finance and unit economics, and if you are still assigning people to analyze and visualize data that AI can do much faster, much accurate, you need triple will or a tool like that. That's the reason. That's why you need something like this. What is triple will? If you are hearing about triple will for the first time or have tried earlier version and then discontinued for some reason, I highly recommend exploring its current capabilities. I have been actually using Triple Well for I think many years now, 3-4 years minimum. But this version of the platform, the current platform since the beginning of this year, because I had early access for the brand I was using Triple Well for, leading the marketing and growth initiatives for seven-figure DTC brands I work with, I honestly can tell you my job would be much more difficult without this platform. If you haven't seen the quick overview of what the current platform can do, here is a quick overview. So that was just the quick overview. And I will just let the co-founder of Triple Well explain it in his own words. It's basically your AI-powered business dream team. I couldn't have explained it better. You are getting the AI-powered assistant who is like the marketer. It can help you create ads, create compelling ad copies, help you optimize your campaign. This AI can help you analyze, create dashboards. Moby can work like a data scientist. And not only it can analyze your existing data, but it can also do predictions and projections and planning for the future as well. So it's basically a unified data and AI platform, just one unified data and AI platform with all your data sources connected and centralized, more reliable than any single isolated platform reporting. It provides you the business intelligence. You don't need to have any technical knowledge of BI analytics measurement. You don't have to use Google Analytics for or similar platforms. Data enrichment, Triple Well provides a service called Sonar that replaces CAPI tools, conversion API tools like Eliver, Upstackified. All the proper conversion data that you are able to track and measure on Triple Well, you can send them back to the ad platform to help them optimize better, help them do reporting better in their platforms as well. Multi-touch attribution, MTA. Whenever a conversion happens, that doesn't happen generally with one touch from one channel. People are not buying from your brand just after seeing your ad or just after receiving your email. It's generally a multi-touch journey. Someone is seeing your ad, then they are coming to your site, they are leaving, maybe then they are seeing your Google ad, and then they are coming back to your website, they're signing up, and they're leaving again. Later, they are receiving your email, they are seeing an offer that they love, and they are coming and making the purchase. So now, how do you attribute this purchase to not just one channel, but different channels. So that is MTA, multi-channel attribution, and you can have different attribution model data on Triple Well. You can build dashboards, you can have this AI assistant to Mobi, and you need to understand how important this AI assistant is over using tools like ChatGPT, because this AI is trained with your business data, not just from your one platform, but all platforms that are connected with your business. It provides automation, it provides templates, a lot more. So if you are not already on Triple Well, then you can just skip to the next part. But if you are new and if you haven't signed up with Triple Well, you can just find this section in my post. You can click this link to get more details. You can click this link to request a demo, or you can sign up directly using this link. To be very honest, I work very closely with Triple Well team, and this is one of the best SaaS teams I have the privilege to work with for years. And I have this relationship with Triple Well for years. I'm sure you will have an amazing experience. Their team is great, incredibly supportive. However, in highly unlikely scenario, in case if you face any issue with their team getting started, if you are unable to communicate something with them, if you are not hearing back from them or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on X or on Instagram at the rate Saurabh Ghosh, SOURAVGHOSH. Okay. I am here to help, and I have given you links on onboarding, optimizing your account, installing Pixel. I am not getting into these details. I have given you a video and also some links to learn how to create reports. It's very easy to learn, and even if you get stuck, Triple Well team will help you. But I want to move first on to the next thing. That is the purpose of this video. That is the core idea. I want to help you create the dashboards that will help you to take the right decisions for your business. And you don't have to spend months to create this dashboard. If you just follow this video or this article, you will be able to create it within next hour or maximum within next 24 hours, because I know how busy you are. You can't just work on this thing. So you can come back to it, and within next 24 hours, you will have 3 dashboards ready that will help you to take much better decisions for your business. If you are here, I'm assuming that either you are already using Triple Well, or if you have started reading this post or watching this video or listening to the podcast, you went and signed up for a Triple Well account. Or if you are using other platforms similar to Triple Well, I'm just assuming that you already have something, a system, a platform where you can set up the dashboards or the metrics or the KPIs from the ones that I'm going to recommend. And this is the setup guide for owners, founders, operators, CEOs, just to make it very clear that the setup that I'm going to recommend, this is the same setup that I use as a CMO, as a head of growth, and I help the CEO or the leader of the organization or the owner of the organization adopt. So this is from a very top level perspective. These metrics are not necessarily the metrics that are always the most important ones for the advertising team or email SMS team, though I will definitely recommend some part of this metrics to be recommended for the entire organization. I call that numbers for everyone. Some metrics, some dashboards that should be shared with everyone in the organization, every team member, to keep everyone on the page. But mostly, I will be focusing on the point of view, the decision making requirements for the leader or the leaders of the organization. So, of course, I'm a fan of Triple Well. I'm like recommending this to you, and like I've been using this for so many years. So many brands I worked with, and many other brands that I admire, they use Triple Well. And then there are other solutions similar to Triple Well, like Northbrain. I love these tools. These tools are excellent, cost-effective data infrastructure solution for 7-figure, 8-figure brand, and even smaller brands than that, to have proper data culture, to have proper data, to be able to easily interpret data. So yes, these tools gives you the visibility into useful metrics. Right out of the box, this will show you certain important metrics, and then these tools will provide you even a vast collection of templates. But the issue is that for a busy business owner like you, for a busy business leader like you, it can be overwhelming and confusing. And also, I agree with Ron, eight-figure brand of the CEO, that these tools might make you lazy as well, because somehow, depending on the default setup and the default metrics that you see there, or the metrics that are very easy to pull from this tool, a lot of brand operators get over reliant on this metrics while ignoring others. So that is something I want to clarify first. This is super, super important. This is something we discussed in the beginning of the video or this post as well, some examples of interpreting data wrong. And here I want to like emphasize on that whenever you are using a tool like this, please do not get too biased, too reliant on certain metrics. Rather, understand all key metrics for your business and take a holistic look at them. Here is a very interesting video like that came along with this exposed. Here is why you need to understand every metric. And I have given you the timestamp as well from 19 minutes. That extends on this idea. And I absolutely agree with the speakers. And again, I want to remind you that the CEO dashboards and the metrics in them are for you to quickly spot issues, to spark a conversation with your team, leading to hopefully digging deeper into data, not to take knee-jerk impulsive actions. So if you see that suddenly on a day your CPA is abruptly high, my purpose of this post and this video is to enable you to initiate a conversation with your media buyers why this is happening. And then maybe they will dig into the data and report back to you, or you will show them some data and spot some issues to them to diagnose further, or maybe you will get into a conversation, a research, and inspection as a team. It's not to take knee-jerk impulsive actions like you see something, you see a very high abrupt rise in CPA, and you go there and turn off advertisement and fire your ad team. That's not what it is for. Now, let me help you track and interpret the right KPIs for high level conversations and decision making. That's where I start with every new DTC brand I work with. If you hire me as your CMO head of growth today, this is what I will be working with you tomorrow. So let me walk you through setting up 3 dashboards that will immediately support your decision making. And in case you are listening to this on podcast, I will strongly recommend finding the YouTube video of this episode, because you will be able to see my screen and see the screenshots and the metrics while I'm explaining them, and hopefully that will help you set up. But still, I will be mentioning each of the metrics in case you are listening to this and you are not watching the video. So the first thing I will recommend you to set up is the summary page in the triple well. So how you are going to navigate it once you are logged into triple well, make sure you have the current version, that is TW 3.0 enabled, and that toggle. If you still have the old version, you will find a toggle at the bottom left. Once the 3.0 version is enabled, you will find the summary section by clicking the reports in the left panel, and then under standard, finding the summary. If you click there, you will see some default metrics, some default sections and metrics. Like here is my recommendations, the most of the default metrics that you will see right after signing up on Triple Will, or even if you are using Triple Will for a very long time and you have never customized this summary page, you will see a lot of metrics. I'm not saying they're not valuable, but I don't think they are organized in a priority order for the purpose of the leader of the organization. So that's where I'm going to help you now. So in the summary page, I usually keep 3 sections for me or the owner or the CEO I'm working with. The first is finance, and the next is metrics per order, and the next is metrics per customer. Let me run each section and let me tell you the metrics one by one, and you can set it up. Setting this up is very easy. Like Triple Well provides you all the guidance, but even if you still find it difficult, don't hesitate to reach out to Triple Well team and just show them this article, and they will help you set up this metrics. If you still face any issues, just let me know. Reach out to me on X or Instagram, and I will help you further. So the first thing you would like to set up in the finance is gross sales, then discount percentage, which is a custom metrics, then taxes, then shipping, Then coming to order revenue. Why? Because like when you factor in discounts, taxes, shipping from gross sales, then you come at the order revenue. That's why I wanted to order it in this way. Then comes the return percentage, the return amount, then comes the total sales. Again, when you factor in the returns from order revenue, then you come to this metric called total sales, and these metrics are being fetched from Shopify. Then comes new customer revenue and returning customer revenue. Then comes COGS, cost of goods sold. Then comes payment gateways. This is an expense that you need to set up in the triple well expense settings. Then comes handling fees. And now you create this custom metric called variable expenses. So what are the variable expenses? All of these expenses that are variable in nature, like it varies depending on how many orders you are getting. So you add all this up. There is COGS, there is payment gateways, there is returns, and there is shipping cost, tax, discount. All these things, they comes under variable expenses. So once you factor in this variable expense, then you come to the gross profit. So what is gross profit? When you deduct the variable expense from your total sales, you come to this gross profit. Then the next metric is gross margin, just the percentage of it. And like this helps you understand whether the issue is in the cost of goods sold or cost of delivery, this process. If your gross margin is like very low, that's kind of the first red flag in your business that your marketing can't save it. Nothing can save it unless you actually optimize your production, supply chain, and all those stuff. So this is very important. So next major number that comes, that is ads. So this is the combined number from the ad cost, from the ad expenses from all ad platforms. Then comes MER, or marketing efficiency ratio. This is just the percentage, what percentage of your total revenue is spent on advertisement. Then comes the custom expenses. So these custom expenses are also something that you need to feed to Triplewell. You can feed it manually directly to Triplewell, or you can add it through a Google Sheet spreadsheet. These are basically your fixed cost or operational expenses. Then comes the operating profit, then comes the operating margin, then contribution margin dollar or contribution profit, and then contribution margin percentage. Then comes net profit, then comes net margin. So this section is the most important section from the perspective of the leader of the organization, for the business owner, for the CEO or CFO, or in any leadership position. Because beyond any marketing metrics, you need to see how ultimately these financial metrics are being impacted. That's number one. Once this section is set up, the next section you need to set up is metrics per order. This is very crucial for you to understand how, on an average, for every order, how the unit economics is working. So here are the metrics for this particular section, metrics per order. You start with average order value, then true AOV, then COGS per order, just like we calculated cost of goods overall. Now we are calculating, this is also custom metrics, we are calculating cost of goods per order, then shipping per order, payment gateway per order, tax per order, variable expenses per order, gross profit per order, gross margin per order. Now comes the blended CPA. So this is cost per acquisition. So how much it costed to acquire this one order. And by blended, we mean that here we are considering the cost associated with all ad platforms, not any specific platforms. And we are considering the total number of orders we have received, and we are calculating this. Then we are also calculating the percentage CAC, or percentage cost of acquisition cost. And why this is important? Because this gives you a perspective on how much of order value is actually being spent on acquiring that order. Then comes contribution profit per order, then comes contribution margin per order, that is the percentage value, then fixed cost per order, net profit per order, net margin per order, then max blended CPA to break even. So that means if you are seeing this screenshot, you can see that for this particular example, the net margin per order is negative. That means for this period of time, this business was not first order profitable, or rather, I should say more accurately, it's not per order profitable. So this business is losing money per order. Now, what are we calculating? The max blended CPA to break even. What is that? That is considering this same average order value, what CPA, what blended CPA we need to hit to be able to set the net profit to zero. That means breaking even. So currently we are in loss, but we need to have a number so that we can have a guidance for our marketing team. Okay, currently the blended CPA is at $34.35 and we are losing money per order. But our max blended CPA to break even is this. So we need to have a target to reduce the blended CPA to that level to break even. And if we can reduce it further from that, then we'll be able to make profit per order. Tell me in the comments if it makes sense. Then the next thing is new customer AOV. As we are calculating per order, so we are considering new customers, returning customers both. But when we are calculating and under this section, I want you to also add the new customers AOV as well to give you perspective whether the overall average AOV and new customers AOV, if you are seeing some kind of trend that new customer AOV is higher or lower, something like that. Then NCPA, the new customer acquisition cost, and max blended NCPA to break even. Just like the target we had in terms of CPA, okay, if we can afford our CPA to be blended CPA to be this to break even, to have net profit zero, exactly like that, we can have a target of NCPA to break even. If we can, currently our NCPA is this, but we need to bring down our NCPA to this to be able to break even. If we can bring it down further, then we'll be able to make profit per order. Then the next section is metrics per customer. Now we consider metrics per order. Now let's see how are the numbers per customer. Now, when we are considering per customer, we are replacing AOV with LTV. So this is the lifetime value. That means, very simply put, it is just how on an average each customer, how for the period you have selected, how much money each customer on an average has spent on your brand. So you start with LTV, then you calculate the variable expenses per customer, gross profit per customer, gross margin per customer, fixed cost per customer, blended ad spend per customer, net profit per customer, net margin per customer. Now you can see here, though this brand for this time period was unprofitable per order, but it is profitable per customers. Like, this is the beauty of retention. This is the beauty of focusing on LTV. That, of course, ideally we'd love to be first order profitable. We'd love to make every single order profitable, but sometimes it's difficult to achieve that. But even when you acquire the customer at a loss, even when your each order is not profitable, if you can make majority of your customers come back to your store and purchase from you again, then you will be able to be profitable in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in the long run. So that's why you can see that this brand is profitable per customer even after being unprofitable per order. So the next metric is max break-even blended ad spend per customer. So you can have an idea, okay, right now, this is the money we are spending per customer, but we can afford to spend up to this to stay break-even. Then there is another interesting metric, that is LTV by CPA. This is also something that can give you a perspective. Okay, you are paying this to acquire on an average each customer, that is CPA, and you are getting in return this much from on an average each customer. So this gives you a perspective, okay, the amount of money I'm investing to acquire the customer, how much of that I'm getting in return throughout that period of time. Then I'm also isolating returning customers LTV to give you some better perspective. And then there is just a simple metrics just to make sure that we are considering the unique customer orders. We are calculating the number of orders per unique customers. That also gives you a perspective that whether the customers in your store on an average, how many times they are buying during this time period. Is that one? Is that two? Is that between 1 and 2? Is that over 2? So these metrics are very, very important to have a quick top level overview of how your business is performing for a period of time. That can be this month. You can, and these numbers will automatically update once you change the time period You can see from here, this was selected from January to August for this year. Now you can simply select that, change that for this month, this quarter, last quarter, this year, last year, any time duration, and you can have a clear idea of how your business is performing overall, per order and per customer. Tell me if it makes sense. Tell me if you found this helpful, or if you have any queries from this particular portion of the video. Can we have an introduction before proceeding further? I would love to know more about you and your brand. Can you just drop it in the comment or send me a message sharing about you and your website URL and anything that you want to share? And here is for my introduction. I'm going to share with you a clip of my sales pitch. Yes, I'm selling something. I just want to be very transparent about it. Everyone is selling you something. I'm also selling something. Who I am, what I do, what I sell, and who I sell to. Here is the clip. Hi, I'm Saurav. If you are running an e-commerce brand doing seven-figure annual revenue and aiming for the next stage, if you are on the journey from 1 million a year to 10 million a year, I would love to help you as the CMO or head of growth. To give you a very top level quick overview of my approach, I start with numbers, data. I start looking at your finance to see if your business is spending on some things or tools or people that are not actually making any impact in your bottom line. Then reallocating those resources to better opportunities that can make much better impact. Then I start looking for opportunities. I deploy system structures, people, technology in place to improve your acquisition, conversion, retention, product, and ultimately your entire business operation. Let me help you streamline your entire organizational resources, communication, align your entire organization to pursue your business objectives and key results. So I hope you were clear that unless you are a brand, seven-figure brand looking to hire a CMO or head of growth, or you are someone spending at least 10,000 USD or equivalent per month on advertising and want to book a consultation, I don't have anything to sell to you, no course, nothing. I'm just building a hub of zero cost information to aid all other DTC brands. The e-commerce brands I can't personally work with. I want to help them, educate them with these resources. That's it. Now let's proceed with the video. I hope now you have set up the summary section with the three essential sections: finance, metrics per order, metrics per customers. Once you have these numbers, I recommend you to share these numbers with your entire team. Ideally, your entire team should have access to your triple well account, and they should have the same setup at the start of their summary page. Of course, they can add other sections below and customize them as per their necessity, their role, their responsibilities. But this is something what I call numbers for everyone. Entire organization should have access to these numbers. Now, here is one catch point. Even when organizations or team member, even the leaders of the organizations have access to these financial numbers, I have often seen that it becomes complicated or overwhelming to understand how these financial metrics play with each other, how they impact each other. That's why I recommend visualizing these numbers using this waterfall chart. I'm talking to Triple Well team to see if we can create these charts right within Triple Well so that we don't have to use any other platform to create these charts. But for now, you can use Canva. You can simply copy this template and change the numbers and create waterfall charts for this financials. This is the article that I wrote a few days back. I'm sure if you are an experienced DTC operator, you are already aware about the financials, the numbers, the money metrics, your unit economics. But in case you are new, please click on these buttons and you will find this resources, SOP, whatever you want to call this, and every money metrics explained here, financial planning and strategy that are relevant for business owners that are also given here. Coming to the waterfall chart and visualization, you need to understand that not just as the business owners, it's always helpful if you can visualize certain things to get insights quickly. but also different people in your organization have different level of understanding and interpretation capabilities, especially in terms of number. So it's immensely helpful when you can provide them some kind of visualization in terms of the numbers. If you see this waterfall charts, this help you or someone in your team to understand how each components builds over to the next. Just like when we are checking the overall finance, this total sales, when you deduct the variable expense from total sales, what's left, that is called gross profit. When you deduct the ad spend from the gross profit, what is left, that is contribution profit. And when you deduct the custom expenses or operational expenses from the contribution profit, what you are left with is the net profit. So whenever you plot your numbers in charts like this, that helps you incredibly to understand where you are spending most and where any issues or opportunity lies. So you can create the same charts for the metrics per order. There the total sales will be replaced by AOV, and the same thing for metrics per customer, that will be replaced by LTV. This is something you can just copy the template and change the numbers, that easy, and you will have a great visualization to give you clarity about your most important top line, bottom line, most important expenses and margins. Let me know if this is helpful or if you face any issues using this. Once you are done with the summary page, next comes setting up this visualization, monthly KPIs. This is a static dashboards. Static dashboards in Triple Well means you will not be able to change the date range, but yes, you will be able to set it up in a way that it will automatically keep updating itself with the latest date. You can do that, but you will not be changing the date range, because ideally this is something that you want to stay static to have a zoomed out approach. This is why I recommend setting up this monthly key KPI static dashboards, because it's very important for you as the owner, the leader of the organization, to have a big picture, zoomed out view of the business. Because I have seen again and again leaders making wrong interpretations, taking wrong decisions, because they are not taking a look at the monthly trends over all the past years, comparing it to current years. You need to factor in long-term trends like seasonality and many other things to have better context. It's very, very important that before coming to any conclusion about any current data, maybe this week's data, this month's data, this year's data, you always refer, cross check, validate your assumptions and interpretations with this monthly metrics dashboard, where we actually see the long term trends of key metrics to have better context, better idea of how the business performs, when it go up, when it go down, how we are doing over a long period of time, and we will be able to rule out some fluctuations. At certain times, you might be underperforming certain days in certain weeks. But as long as you are hitting the monthly goal, month over month, if you are doing better, then you are set. This is why you need to have this perspective. Sometimes you need to see the seasonal trend to have a better context. Why sales are down this month or previous months? It's not because something is not working, it's something that is aligned with historical trend of your business. Of course, you can then take steps, strategize on how you can do something, come up with some ideas to elevate sales for this down months. Of course, you can do that. But first, you need to have this perspective that this is not something that is happening right now this year. This is something that is happening for all last years, all the previous years. This is why having this kind of monthly KPI dashboards, and especially like not just the numbers but having the visualization, is very, very important. You can see this example. This is a 7-figure brand I was working with, and like their business, this brand is in business over 10 years, but for certain context, we needed to check the trends from 2022, not before that. Before that, it was not that relevant for different reasons. But for your business, you can like check the data from the date of inception, from the year of the inception till date. But for this business, we check the data from January to present. and it is set up in a way that it always constantly update itself to the current date of the current month. So we get to see the monthly fluctuations and everything. I generally start with the total sales or order revenue by month, then ad spend by month, then custom expenses or the operational expenses, then net profit. These are like the first four visualizations that I keep, or the CEO I'm working with, I recommend them to keep. Then I come with new customers versus returning customers inside. I like adding some notes to the report just to give better clarity to the leadership or the team I'm working with to how to interpret the data. I don't want to tell them what or exactly what it means, but I want to give them some kind of directional guidance to brainstorm. If we are seeing this, then we need to think like this. If we are seeing that, then maybe these can be the possible reasons. That's my role as the data guy in an organization. After that, the next section is MER insights. Then again, I like to add certain insights. Like this is one common one. A lot of time I see teams coming to the interpretation whenever they see MER is too high. The quick conclusion is ads are not performing well. But rarely I have seen people thinking that MER is too high, not just because the ads are not performing well, but also other channels beyond advertising, they are not performing well either. If the other channels beyond advertising, if they were doing their job, then MER couldn't be that high. These are the kind of data backed insights and contemplations and healthy arguments, debates, discussions necessary in a growing DTC organization. Usually KPIs by month I add here: total sales or order revenue, ad spend, meta ad spend, generally because that is the highest advertising spend for most of the brands I work with. If that is some other ad platform, feel free to add that there. Then the OPEX, then net profit, then customer order analysis, new versus returning, then customer revenue analysis, new versus returning, then MER, then AMER, blended CPA and NCPA, meta ad CPM and CPA, conversion rate, organic revenue, triple attribution. This is an attribution model. New versus returning visitor session, revenue reported by channels like ad platforms, email, SMS, etc. Refund amount, order numbers, unique visitors, cost per session. So these are generally the static KPIs that I use. Like these are the common ones. Of course, it varies from business to business. I would love to know if you track this KPIs monthly or there are other KPIs that you track monthly. I would love to know and update my go-to list of KPIs. Don't forget to leave in the comments. Next thing, once this static visualization for monthly KPIs, this dashboard is set up. Now comes the final dashboard. This is a dynamic dashboard with the daily core KPIs. The static one was for monthly, but this one is for daily. Now we are tracking the daily metrics, and this is a dynamic dashboard because I would like you to have the flexibility to just change the date range and check these numbers and daily trends for any period of time. It can be just this week, it can be this month, this quarter, last year, any date range, you will be able to see the numbers. Of course, using this dynamic dashboard, instead of just checking the daily metrics, you can change this daily to weekly and monthly as well. You can do that. But this is why it's important to have a dynamic dashboards so that you can check and compare important KPIs for different date ranges. The first panel here, the first section within this dashboard that I generally prefer to set up, you can see this for this specific brand, that has within one single chart, it has total sales, blended, that means total ad spend, net profit, blended CPA, blended NCPA. So from my perspective as someone leading the marketing and growth initiative for the organization, as the CMO or head of growth, or even for the CEO of the organization, owner of the organization, I feel this chart can be very, very useful because it gives you a perspective on whether we are hitting our daily top line goal, total sales goal. How are we doing in terms of the bottom line? If we are breaking even, if we are in the green, we are making profit, or if this day we lost money. And the biggest expenses in our PNL, that is the ad spend, that is specific for this brand. If your biggest expense is something else, you can add that. If there are two such big expenses, you can add both of them. So I like to keep this as well, how much we are spending, how much total revenue we are getting, and then how much net profit we are getting, because this gives us a top perspective on where the business is at every single day. Along with that, I compare that with the blended CPA and NCPA. So that again gives us perspective in terms of how we are doing in terms of customer acquisition and how we are doing in terms of new customer acquisition. For some operators, instead of net profit, some operators prefer to use contribution profit because for many brands they don't have that much clarity in terms of the opex, but thankfully for this brand our opex per day was mapped into triple well. We had clarity on how much operational cost we are spending on every single day, so that is why we preferred on calculating the net profit. So this is what it looks over a longer period of time. If you are not watching this on video, I would recommend you to watch it so that you can see the graphs. I have shown example of 15 days how it looks for the small period of time, and then I have shown example for a little bit over a few months and how that looks, and that gives you clarity in terms of where things are picking, what did we do right on those days, where things are down, what went wrong on those days. That gives you clarity. Next thing, as you can see, during the, I have shown in this graph that for this particular brand, due to many reasons, some beyond our control, during the end of May, our blended CPA and NCPA went so out of control that we had to cut down ad spend totally and rebuild things from scratch. So we could take decisions like this because we had access to this data that, okay, this is not normal. This is not something that's we can accommodate. We need to take drastic action to prevent losing money anymore. Okay, the next thing that we add here, that is something I called one key metric that is tied to your OKRs. OKRs means objectives and key results. So for us, for this brand, it was MER, marketing efficiency ratio. That is the percentage of revenue spent on advertising. We picked it from our 2024 OKRs. And again, if you are watching this video, you can see the screenshot how we came to this OKR, how did we create some kind of projection, why it was very important for us to bring down the MER. Because analyzing the 2023 numbers, what we found out was that our MER was 47%. And for our objective of 2024, our objective was to scaling top line revenue with healthy bottom line. And we translated that objective into three main key results. First, achieving 7.5 million in revenue in 2024 compared to 4.5 in 2023. Of course, like ideally we'd like to double it, but at least we need to hit 7.5 million. More net profit dollar than 2023. We are not talking about net margin, because we want to have more net profit in terms of dollar, even if the margin is lower, because we are scaling the top line. And the final one was reducing MER from 47% to 40%. If you see the screenshot of the projection table, you will see the calculation considering 2023 number, keeping some of those numbers same. When we changed the MER number, we reduced it from 47% to 45%, how that helped. And when we brought it down to 40%, how that helped. That is going to give a tremendous boost for this business. So that is why for us, this MER was key metric, but based on your OKRs, you might want to pick a completely different metric. That's totally up to you, depending on your calculation, your state of the organization. Other metrics beyond the above two charts, we kept eye on the daily charts of the following metrics. AMER, that is acquisitions marketing efficiency ratio. It's calculated as new customer revenue divided by total spend, generally total advertising spend. Refund amount, revenue breakdown by sales channel, Shopify web, Shopify shop, Facebook and Instagram shop, TikTok shop, Amazon, etc. Conversion rate, conversion rate, checkout to purchase percentage, cart to checkout percentage, add to cart percentage. Checking this web analytics, keeping an eye on these numbers daily can help you spot any issues on the website or overall funnel first, that if people are unable to add to cart or there is some issue in the checkout, maybe there is some issue in the product page. That's why suddenly you are seeing that add to cart ratio is has gone down. So you will be able to spot, diagnose and troubleshoot funnel related, website related issues much faster if you keep eye on this. And of course the AOV, average order value, then orders, new versus returnings, order versus returns, that also gives you a perspective if on any particular day any issue occurred, if you are seeing that more than usual returns. Then the number one acquisition channels for this brand, it was meta ads. So in platform KPIs like CPA, CPM, we'd like to keep track on them daily as well. Then users, new users percentage, that is also very important. It's very important to drive, just like we need new customer, and to have new customer we need to drive new users to our site. To keeping an eye on the users data also gives us perspective that our acquisition strategy, the way different channels are bringing traffic, that is focusing on new users and new customers. Then order distribution by AOV slabs, and there are more, but these are like the most important one. Now comes the most important recommendation. Go and set up these three dashboards within the next 24 hours. Then keep customizing them to fit your brand and requirements better. Build the habit of checking and interpreting these KPIs while making decision. This tutorial means nothing, this post means nothing if you do not actually have this set up in your triple well account. It's very, very important. Ideally, I would recommend you to set this up, but like thankfully, if you have someone in your team who have the understanding and the skill and the knowledge to just go into your account and set these things up for you, that would be great. For very busy seven-figure CEOs, I set this up when I start working with them so that they don't have to spend time on it. They just get to see all those data. But it's very crucial that your triple well account or any data platform that you are using have these three dashboards: the summary page with financials, metrics per order, metrics per customer, the static monthly KPIs dashboard visualization, and then finally the daily metrics, a dynamic dashboard, so that you can change the date range and track the daily performance over any period of time. Let me know if it makes sense or if you have any query on setting up these sections. Here is a bonus. Chat with Mobi, your AI assistant, and come back to me in 6 months or 1 year after using this and just tell me if you don't feel Mobi as your most important teammate. If not that, at least one of the most important teammates. Let me give you an example to show how valuable having data at our fingertip is. For this particular brand, we were looking into a few agencies. We wanted to switch to a different media buying agencies, specifically meta ad agencies. And one of the new agencies we interviewed, they came, they audited the account, and they proposed this: change meta ad attribution settings from 7-day click to 1-day click. We asked Movies something simple. What is the average duration between the first visit to our website to first purchase for all new customers of 2024? And like, this is when I took this screenshot. It was taken at a much later time compared to when it actually happened. So as you can see in the screenshot here, from January to August 2024, Mobi is saying this duration, average duration, is around 10.19. So over 10 days. From the first visit to their first purchase, it takes around 10 days. And at that point of time, when we were having this conversation, when we checked that, the duration was, I think, 8 to 9 days. So this was my question to that agency, that when the first visit to first purchase take over 7 days, so how does it make sense to optimize meta ad for 1-day click? We are telling meta ad that, okay, we want you to go and find and optimize for only those who click on the ad today and purchase within next 1 day. But we are seeing most of our new customers, first day when they arrive on our website to when they purchase, it takes more than 7 days. And this is also important. We already know the fact that meta ad is our number one first touch channel, first click channel. We know that majority of our new customers came to our website for the first time from meta ad. So if we are telling meta, okay, don't focus on those, just focus on those who are seeing the ad and buying within 1 day, then what signal are we giving to meta? Maybe we are telling meta, who are these people who will buy within 1 day after clicking? They are more likely to be the retargeting audience. Either they have seen ads earlier, they have been to our website, maybe they are our email subscriber. They might see an ad and like click and purchase within 1 day of seeing that ad. So if we change the attribution settings from 7-day click to 1-day click, we are essentially telling meta algorithm, focus on the retargeting customers. And naturally, our new customer acquisition will suffer because meta ad will stop finding more and more new customers because it knows that it will not be able to convert the new customers into new visitors into new customers within 1 day. Does this make sense? So this is why it's very important to be able to ask right questions and get this data like without needing to go through a spreadsheet, without having any technicality, data science knowledge or anything. You can simply ask this AI tool and get any answer you need. This is just one example. What you can do with Mobi, this AI assistant, is only limited by your own imagination. I have given link for Mobi knowledge base, Mobi prompt guide. You can follow this to get yourself accustomed better. I have also created this, a triple will 3.0 Mobi prompt library. This is a Notion page, easily searchable and categorized by the use cases. You will be able to copy paste prompts from here, run this into your triple well account, Mobi, AI assistant, and get your hands dirty, get yourself accustomed with finding valuable insights using this AI chat interface. That's it. I know how busy you are, and honestly, I appreciate you taking time to read this long post. If you are reading this, or if you are watching this video on YouTube or any other platform, or even if you are listening to this, I really, really appreciate you. But I strongly believe it will help reduce your headache while impacting your business better. If you have invested this much time into this particular piece of information, I assure you that it will help you immensely if you implement what I recommended. If you can build comfortability around data, you will be able to inspire data first culture in your organization. I remember this phrase from one of my mentors from a very early days of my business journey, my entrepreneurship journey, that your team will never do what you tell them to do. Your team will do what you yourself do, what you actually show by your example. So that's very true. I have seen again and again that the companies with the leaders who are data focused, they can install this culture of referring to data, taking data back decisions into the organization. But if the owner, the leader of the organization, they are not comfortable around data, naturally the rest of the team, they do not take this seriously at all. This is going to drastically impact the decision making process in each and every area of your business. I can assure you that. And coming to full circle from where we started in this piece, decisions, the number one obstacle in the path of your organization's true potential. Let me like carve this into your mind and heart that it's not Facebook ad, it's not TikTok, it's not Amazon, it's nothing else. Number one factor, number one obstacle or opportunity is decision. As the business owner, as the business leaders, the decisions you take can make or break your organization. And this is where I sincerely hope that this post, this video, this podcast episode will help you take the first step towards eliminating that obstacle and rather turning this challenge into an opportunity. And I want to end this with a caution. It is not the one triple well set up to rule them all. Lord of the Rings fan, one ring to rule them all. It's not that. Like, I'm tired of seeing so many people, so many professionals, agencies, educators, gurus proposing a solution, positioning a solution in a way that is the ultimate truth. I just want to clarify it's not that. It's not that if you adopt my setup, this is the best one and like this is the best for your business. It's not that. I just wanted to give you a starting point for setting up triple well to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, because I have seen a lot of people not signing up for triple whale or similar platform because they just don't know where to get started. All this information and capabilities and features, they find it overwhelming. They don't have clarity on what to do after they sign up. Even I have seen seven-figure brands paying for triple whale for years but never customizing triple whale to actually make it useful for them or the organization. That's why I wanted to give you this starting point for setting up triple whale. It's not meant to be the ultimate setup. No, you will make it better over time. Whatever you require, maybe you don't need some metrics, maybe you need some other metrics. Maybe your business face some challenge and then you realize you need to track this. Maybe you see some opportunity and then you realize, okay, for this opportunity, I need to have this in this dashboard. Also, I must tell you that I love Triple Whale community. They have a amazing Slack channel. And of course, the overall DTC community, especially on X. I still love to call it Twitter, but anyway, X DTC community on X. I really love it because we get to learn so much from each other. So if you have some feedback or suggestions to improve my setup and maybe help others who are reading this or maybe watching this, listening to this, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. I would love to contribute to the DTC community in any way I can. And if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. You can ask in the comment section on Substack, on the platform where you are watching it or listening to it, or you can simply reach out to me on X or Instagram @Sourav Ghosh, SOURAVGHOSH. So thank you so much for taking such a long time with me to talk about one of the most underrated area of running a DTC brand, growing a DTC brand, that is data. But I can assure you, once you start prioritizing it, start considering it as one of the most important factor, if not the most important factor in your business, it's going to drastically impact your business in the short term, but especially in the long run. See you soon in our next piece of content. Bye. If you had found this video valuable, then and then only, can I ask you a favor? Can you please like this video so that you tell the algorithm that I'm adding value, and share this video in your social circle, maybe in the DTC communities you are in, so that other business owners like you who need to see this actually get to see this. I'd really appreciate the help. For last 15 years, I've been working behind the scene, and I'm very new to this world of sharing knowledge through different platforms. I'm hesitant, I'm clueless about a lot of things, but still I'm just trying to process everything that I know, I have learned, I have experienced into valuable nuggets that can help business owners like you. Any help will be incredibly appreciated and it will encourage me to share more. Thank you so much.